Minasan, ohayo gozaimasu. Welcome! This channel is for Japanese learners of English. Hyomo shadowing no lesson will yat ikimashou. Listen to today's real native conversation. Focus on the rhythm and shadow along. Practice daily to master tango, bunpao, hatsuan, and rhythm. Repeat and try again tomorrow if needed. Zake. Chenaru no Toroku. Wo onegai shimasu. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
So, you're looking for the perfect way to talk about your hobbies in English. Well, forget those textbook phrases you learned in school, I'd say.
Oh, you mean like, my hobby is... Yeah, that's not exactly how most people talk, is it?
Right, because in real life, we're way more casual, you know? It's about how you actually spend your free time.
Exactly. So instead of saying, my hobby is, what are some good ways to share about your interests in English?
Well, there are a few go-to phrases like, I'm really into, or I'm hooked on, or even just, I enjoy, right?
Yeah, and I'm into seems to be a common one, like when you're genuinely excited about something, right?
Exactly. It's like saying you're passionate, but without being overly dramatic. But it's not just one or two phrases, right? There's so many nuances.
Absolutely. The way you talk about a hobby, it changes on the context, and also it depends on how intensely you feel about it, or how long you've been doing it.
True, and that's where it gets interesting, right? Let's say you love reading books. There are different ways to say it than if you love to scuba dive.
Right. So if you're just chilling with a book as a pastime, you'd use a different term than if you're like training for a marathon, you know?
Precisely. And it's not just about what you do, but also how you feel about it. Like, I'm obsessed with, or I can't stop. When you are super into something, right?
I bet. And what if you want to ask other people? You can't always just say, what's your hobby? Like, we're back in school.
Oh, yeah, no way. We've got better ways, like, what do you do in your free time, or how do you like to spend your leisure time?
Right. Those sound way more natural. They open up for different answers, because it's not always a clear-cut, super intense hobby, isn't it?
That's a good one. And it's not always about some huge commitment. It could be about just enjoying a good meal or hanging out with friends.
So it's about knowing the kind of conversation you're having and choosing the right phrase for it, isn't it?
Yeah, like if you're into something super intense, you might say, I'm addicted to rock climbing. But if you just like to, watch a movie, you can just say, I enjoy, or I like, you know?
That makes sense. And what about all these interests, pastimes, and leisure activities? Where do these fit in?
Well, interest is like you're drawn to something. You might not be an expert at it, but you're fascinated, you know?
Yeah, like one of my interests is learning about ancient civilizations or something, right?
Exactly. And then pastime is more like something you do to relax. It's a casual thing, right? Gardening is a favorite pastime of mine, or just reading or taking a walk.
And then leisure activity. That's more about what you do when you're not working or studying, a little bit more formal.
Right. It's more like a category. One of my favorite leisure activities is playing tennis is a way to introduce your hobbies.
Ooh, that's interesting. So how does this work in like an actual conversation? Say someone asks you, what do you do in your free time?
Okay, so I might say, I'm really into photography these days, going out and taking pictures of nature.
And then someone might come back with, oh, really? Tell me about your hobbies.
Yeah, or they might ask, how long have you been doing that? Or even what made you start that, to really deepen the conversation, right?
Absolutely. And it's not always direct.
Yeah.
You might just mention in a conversation, I enjoy hiking on weekends. And then someone might say, oh, me too. And it can go from there.
Exactly. And that's so important because these are all opportunities for connection and understanding, right? It's not just about listing your hobbies.
Right. And if you do go the my hobby is year route, it's like you've got to have something to say about it, right? It cannot be a dead end to the conversation.
Definitely. My hobby is listening to music is a pretty common one, right? So you'd have to follow up with your favorite genre, artist, or what your listening routine is.
I like that. And of course, you've got to be ready to hear about other people's hobbies too.
Yeah. And ask follow-up questions. Oh, you like gardening? What do you grow? That way you're keeping the flow going.
And also just being genuinely interested, right? Because people can usually tell if you're just asking to be polite.
True. So it's all about being real and relatable. It's not just about saying my hobby is. It's about saying this is me and this is what I love.
Exactly. It's more of a journey than just one single sentence, right?
Right. So next time you're talking about your interests in English, you've got more than just my hobby is, right?
Yeah, you can show who you are by how you talk about the things you love.
All right, we've finished today's lesson. How did you find it? 理解できない部分はありませんでしたか? Repeat and try again tomorrow if needed. Please let me know your感想 or request in the comments. ぜひチャンネルの登録をお願いします. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. See you next time. Bye bye.